Hey everybody, welcome to Chapter 1, Section 1 of Economics. This is the beginning, the first day of economics, and we are in day 46 right now of the school year. Real excited to get started on economics and just kind of switch things up. Unfortunately, my subscription for this thing went out, so you can't see my face anymore, but likewise, you can still hear my voice. You just can't see my face. So let's get started. Let's jump into economics. And the first thing is we have a couple questions for you on a level of yourself, and you got to think about yourself. And these are the questions I want you to answer. What is the difference that comes to your mind when you think of what is a want and what is a need? Name three needs that you think you may have, and name three wants that you think you may have. Okay, so just think about that for a little bit, and we're going to start talking about this stuff. So when we think about those questions, now let's go geared towards ourselves to what the definition of economics is in micro and macroeconomics. As you can see, they're highlighted. It's probably a good chance this is going to be on your exam. So in economics is a study of how individuals on our level, you go one step forward, families on our family level, go another step, businesses, and the government or society you live in uses the resources that they're limited to fulfill their unlimited wants. So let's talk about what a want and need is. And then we have two different forms of economics. Number one, micro, which deals with behaviors and decision making by small units such as us as people, individuals, and the firms, which are businesses. And then we have macro, dealing with the economy as a whole and decision making by large units such as the government. So how does the government spend their money and decision making and stuff that they have to need and want? And how does microeconomics, how do you spend your money? And we're going to talk about both of these things. So getting to wants and needs here, and you can kind of see the little clip I put up here. When people use the word need, they really want something that they do not have. I need new shoes. I need those new clothes. We have to go. We need to go school shopping. All right. I'm starving. I need to go out to eat. Do you really need those things or do you just want those things? Okay. Anything other than a basic need for survival, food, shelter, and clothing is a want. Other than that, food, shelter, and clothing is a need. You need a home. You need food. You need to have clothes on your body. I can even go so far to put a job is needed and a car is needed in our current day and age world. Okay, because we have to have money in order to supply the things that we need. And depending on how good those needs are going to be, depends on how much you're going to make in your life. And everybody that's on cyber school right now, everybody that comes into my class, I hate to break it to you guys, but everybody in the system is competing against each other when you're at school, okay, for the best grades, so you can get into a college or get into a trade school or go into the military, and everybody's going to make a different amount of money, okay, when you do these things. It's part of our system, okay? You can even choose to be a bum if you want, all right? And if you choose to be a bum, you're not going to make as much money as somebody that went to college and got a 4-year degree or went into the military and got a 20-year career out of it or went to a trade school and started working when they were 19 years old. You're just not, okay? If you bounce job to job and you never really get a direction or a goal towards anything, you're going to have less amount of money to be able to provide yourself for the needs. And you're certainly not going to have, you're going to have wants, but you're not going to be able to supply for your wants. Okay? And that's the difference in this world that we live in. So in a world of limited resources, people satisfy their unlimited wants by making choices on what to spend their money on. Okay? So is it a want or a need? Everybody's going to have to spend money on needs, but everybody's going to have a different amount of wants depending on what your job is. Choices. Businesses must also make choices. Businesses have to make choices about what to produce now, what to produce later, and what to stop producing. For example, Walker Brothers Buick Chevrolet down the road from General McLean High School is not going to produce convertible cars during the winter. They're gonna drop back on producing those. Why should they produce those knowing that they're not going to make a sale on them or sell them cheaper during that time because there's not going to be a want for them? Okay? So businesses are always doing this. For example, General McLean High School is not spending more money right now on books. They're spending more money on iPads and internet resources because of the times we're living in. They have to make choices. Societies have to make choices about what to produce. They have to make choices about what to spend their money on. How these choices are made is the focus of what it makes up economics. Getting here to shortages and scarcity. So a need to make choices arises because everything that is in this world is limited. Okay? Competition for a fixed amount of product may result in a scarcity of an item. Okay, now does that mean that scarcity, guys, and I'm just going to say it right now, always exists throughout your life? Okay, scarcity is always going to exist because there's going to be a competition to purchase that item. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Scarcity means that people do not and cannot have enough income and time to satisfy their every want. Therefore, okay, when you're getting a paycheck, you're going to have to pay for your needs, which is your housing, your clothes, your food, all right? Yeah, probably your car. That's always going to be there, all right? Now, the choices you make after that, your money's getting more and more scarce, as you start to spend that money bi-weekly, okay? And it always exists. You're always going to have to make choices because money is, you don't have an unlimited amount of it when you're getting paid bi-weekly. Now, unless you hit the lottery. Another thing that could remain scarce are things like, I don't know, think of something that always exists but is always fought over and is limited, okay? So scarcity always exists from time to time, always exists. Shortages, on the other hand, only occur for a shorter period of time. So scarcity always exists. Shortages, on the other hand, only occur for a short period of time. What does that mean? Well, let's say oil can have it. We can have a shortage of oil. We can have a shortage of gasoline. We can have a shortage of drinking water. Like Puerto Rico, the hurricane hit and all the sewage came up and mixed in with the drinking water. Therefore, Puerto Rico had a shortage of water for a while. And when there's a shortage, what does it do to the price? It drives the price up. Coronavirus period right now. Lumber. Lumber has a shortage right now. There's a shortage of lumber. Therefore, the price on lumber is skyrocketing. Okay, do you guys understand this? It's not always going to be a shortage of lumber. The price is eventually going to come back down, probably when winter hits, and there won't be a shortage of it anymore. On the other hand, scarcity always exists. In the Middle East, water is always going to be scarce. In the United States of America, oil is always going to be scarce. We're always going to be fighting for that resource. Okay, that's the difference, and I hope that clarifies it for you right there. If you want to be rich, then you have to accumulate these 4 factors of production as much as you can throughout your life, and these are resources needed to produce goods and services. There's 4 factors of production. These are on your exam. Make sure you know what they are. They're land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Okay. How much of the factors of production an individual has determines how much income and wealth they have. How much of America is rich and poor? We know from Chapter 1, Section 1, or Chapter 1, Section 3, that majority of the world in this world is not rich. Okay, we have developed, we have industrialized nations, we have developed, we have semi-developed, and we have poor nations. Same is true for nations. Nations that have a great abundance of the factors of production are wealthy. What are they exactly? The factors of production are land. This is the providing the physical space and raw materials for business, natural resources that exist without human intervention. So the land you put your business on is a factor of production. The capital, the money needed to start a business, manufacture goods involving making the products, machines, buildings, and tools. In the money to start, you need capital to start a business. You need labor, the human effort required for the business, the work that people do. They produce the goods, which people can buy. Services and activities are done for others for a fee. And entrepreneurship, the initiative, the decisions. You see Mark Cuban up here, risk and management involved in a business. Let me go back to risks. Factors of production, decisions, okay? The risks involved in doing this is known as entrepreneurship. So you could start, buy the land, get the capital, get the labor, and then your business just doesn't work out, okay? And it fails, and then you end up paying for all these things. All right, so those are the 4 factors of production. You introduce new products and processes and improve management techniques. They may also consider the cost of failed effort. About 30% of new entrepreneurship effort has failed, and the 70% that do survive, only a few become widely successful. So keep that number in mind. It is a route that you guys can go into in your life. Your parents might have a little side business that is a safe business they made a couple extra bucks off of, but and a couple of you might actually have your a family business that you're getting into that does very well. So depends, how much money you're making, so on and so forth. It depends what the buyers want and how much they're going to give you, okay, and how much demand there is for your business. The fifth and final wild card one that's just starting to get put into the factors of production is technology. This includes any use of the land, labor, and capital that produces goods and services more efficiently. Anything that is a new method of producing goods and services is known as technology. So that is the fifth and final wild card one. What you guys are going to do now, and the guy who basically created capitalism, okay, in the world is a guy by the name of Adam Smith, and he was an economist. And I want you to watch a 6-minute video on him. And basically, he's going to talk about what he calls the invisible hand, the laissez-faire society. And basically, Adam Smith believed that businesses and the people should determine which businesses are going to be successful. And by the people determining which businesses are going to be successful will drive the competition for the businesses to make a really good product. So the businesses will compete against each other, then whoever has the best product, the people will go and buy the best product, and then the other business will fail. And he believed that created a strong nation, okay? And it was a dog-eat-dog world. It was a harsh world. And we had this all the way up in the pre-1929. And to be honest with you, this is, in the current day and age, this is more of the Republican way of doing things. It's called supply-side economics, Reaganomics. A guy by the name of Ronald Reagan created this. And it was basically the government would put more money into the businesses, deregulate the businesses, let the businesses grow, therefore creating more competition in the marketplace, creating more businesses to get in, more competition, which will create a better product, and it will create more businesses and more jobs will create more money with the people, and the money can then be flown back into the businesses, okay? And this was the way we did things during the time. We had no governmental regulation pre-1930s, and basically what happened during this time, there was a large income gap between the rich and the poor, and because we basically had no governmental regulation, okay? So at this point in time, we do have governmental regulation to keep that income gap closed, but the Democrats are going to have more governmental regulation to kind of keep that failure rate from dropping so far, okay, and create that large middle class where the Republicans want that large middle class made up with the extra jobs that they're deregulating the business from, and so on and so forth. Adam Smith's going to talk about this. He calls it the invisible hand. When you're done watching the 6-minute Adam Smith video, please do the Adam Smith Q&A. It is graded for 12 points, and it's due by 12 p.m. tonight. All right, guys, have a great day. That was the first Chapter 1, Section 1 of Economics.